This is Manindrago from Batam. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Sela Sadakau from Vatukola. I only listen to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold Naka, I'm Vale and I'm working at Golden Pro Resort, and I love listening to Gold FM because it plays a really wide range of classic music.
I'm Saini Sakio from Kashmir Wotoka. I like Gold FM, but only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade. This is FBC News. Tonight, over 900 micro-small businesses receive government grants. Fiji ahead in the South Pacific region in reducing inequality. And yet another drug bust in Navosar. $903 Fijians today receive government grants worth $1,000 each to assist their micro-small businesses. In distributing the grants, Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama announced that previous grant recipients affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston can expect additional help in the near future. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Giving Fijians a leg up to help themselves. The Prime Minister says the micro-small business grant scheme combats poverty.
At a total cost so far of $5.5 million. It is money very well spent, because we estimate that for every Fijian we help, an average of 5 family members benefit.
With the rebuilding after TC Winston a priority, Bainimarama says those recipients affected are now eligible for further assistance.
Some, or in some cases, all of what you invested your $1,000 in may have been damaged or destroyed. And so we are currently working on a way to assist you by providing you with a financial relief you need to get back on your feet again.
Trade Minister Fayez Koya says small businesses drive the economy and are pivotal to Fiji's long-term growth.
The disbursement, ladies and gentlemen, here in Nasilu brings us to another milestone in this important initiative, as we today are reaching a total of 5,853 micro and small businesses that are being supported by this scheme.
Recipients told us the grant is timely and critical to keeping their businesses responsive to changing markets.
It will assist me greatly to assist my pig reform, as I have only 2 pigs in my pig pen.
I will buy more white tupper from the money I received today, which will expand my business.
This one for the fencing of the sheep.
Got 10 pigs with me, so I need I need some money to extend my fan with the pigs.
I'm gonna buy my net and the rope, everything for go fishing.
903 Fijians today are here from the greater Suva area. These recipients, of course, 14th in line in terms of the distribution of the micro and small business grant. The PM calls this empowering the people. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Fiji is currently taking a leading role in reducing inequality in the South Pacific region. Attorney General and Minister for Finance Ayaz Said Qayyum based his statement on a recent survey. Pranita Prakash reports.
For today's discussions. Ladies and gentlemen,
the Attorney General made the remarks during the national consultation on reducing inequality organised by the government and the UNESCAP at Novotel House in Lami today.
Recent survey that was done by IMF. Out of more than, I think, about a dozen, if not more, countries, in fact more than a dozen countries that were assessed in what they call the Asia-Pacific region, including countries like India, China, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Malaysia. Fiji was only one of the 4 countries where inequality had in fact decreased. Many of the fast-growing economies or the emerging economies, with the growth rates being quite rapid, the inequality also was quite rapid too.
Fiji is trying to ensure that the most vulnerable members of the society have access to quality education, healthcare and other essential services. Meanwhile, UNESCAP head of the Pacific Office, Yosefo Mayava, says it is harder to achieve growth and reduce poverty when inequality is present and rising.
Both inequality of income and opportunity requires a broad range of social and economic policy initiatives, going beyond protection to include measures like decent work, a progressive tax system, and the removal of discriminatory laws and practices, including gender-based violence.
The consultation saw more than 50 high-level government and NGO representatives. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Work on the national security strategy to minimize security threats and challenges faced by Fiji is in its final stages. Savara Tambor reports the National Security Council is focusing on 5 major issues.
Looking at ways to preserve our environment and strengthen Fiji's international standards are issues under the policy. Committee Chairman Isala Teleni says others are the impact of climate change, emerging diseases and how to maintain a peaceful environment.
Important part here is for the people to understand the changing security landscape and environment, not only in Fiji, in the regions and also around the globe. Because all those things that are surrounding us will always have impact on our security in our domestic environment.
The national security strategy is yet to be endorsed by government, after which it will be released to all Fijians. Teleni says the committee also highlighted in the paper the move from traditional to non-traditional security threats.
Traditional in the sense that security always referred to hard security, involve military and police. But now with the new emerging security issues caused by globalizations or been brought in by technology, although they are there for improving our quality of life, at the same time, if you are not careful, they can also offer security challenges.
The committee referred to the policy as an inclusive approach, not only limited to government or agencies, but for all in addressing security threats in the country. Savera Tambua, FBC News.
Police and military forces have discovered another marijuana farm in Navosa, this time with more than 17,000 plants being cultivated. Their discovery followed a 9-hour trek to the site. The plants found ranged up to 1 meter in height. Chief of Intelligence and Investigations, ACP Luke Navela, says Operation Davuraka entered its 5th day with more than 30,000 marijuana plants found on 12 separate farms. He says a majority of the farms located had young plants and most had nurseries. No one has been arrested in the latest find, and a search is on for the illegal farmers. A Fiji Airways plane bound for Nadi has returned to Auckland Airport after suffering technical problems. The national airline released a statement this afternoon saying Fiji Airways flight FJ410, operated using its B737 aircraft, had an issue retracting its landing gear after takeoff from Auckland. The flight crew turned the aircraft around and returned to Auckland. The aircraft was in a holding pattern before it could land safely at around 4 p.m. Engineers were able to rectify the problem immediately, and the flight is now on its way to Nadi after leaving Auckland at 4:51 p.m. Coming up on FBC News, experts gather to discuss global challenges faced in ozone protection. And Police Director CID Kishore Kumar laid to rest. Stay with us.
FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Mulonila. I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks in Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. A week-long meeting is currently underway in Suva to discuss global challenges faced in ozone protection. The meeting will also look at the successful and effective implementation of the Montreal Protocol 1989 in the Asia-Pacific region. Close to 100 ozone officers and environmentalists from the Asia-Pacific region are taking part in this joint meeting. The Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer will be high on the discussion's agenda.
We all know the Montreal Protocol is widely regarded as the most effective international environmental agreement. It has proved to be flexible, robust regime, evolving over time in response to new developments in science and technology.
The Montreal Protocol is an international treaty designed to protect the ozone layer by phasing out the production of numerous substances that are responsible for ozone depletion. Environment Minister Parveen Bala urged participants to understand their roles and responsibilities to the environment.
An important factor that we have to remember is that we are all consumers. Your decisions or advice today will have a large impact on the economy tomorrow. As ozone officers, you must understand your roles and responsibilities, not only to the environment, but also to the general public before you can implement the program.
The joint meeting is organised by the United Nations Environment Programme, the Australian Government and the Department of Environment. A house fire yesterday has left a family of 5 homeless. The incident happened around midday in Kulukulu, Singatoka. 2 of the 5 family members were inside the house at the time of the incident, however escaped unharmed. The 8-bedroom home was fully engulfed when the firefighters reached the scene. The NFA is investigating the cause of the fire. Fulton Hogan Highways has stabilised and sealed a 500-metre section of the Queen's Road and is currently working on another 400 metres. Company sealing manager Jimmy Blair says over 6,000 vehicles travel on this Lepanoni-Tau Novo section of the highway every day. Blair says the road has not been repaired for a number of years and overloaded trucks were a factor in its deterioration. The late Kishore Kumar, former director of CID and senior superintendent of the Fiji Police Force, was buried today at the Watuanga Cemetery. The service saw hundreds of people paying their last respects. SSP Kumar was known as a great friend to all those he encountered in the course of his duties and died after a short illness. He is survived by his wife and 3 children. We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie.
Nakataki and good evening. Coming up tonight, the latest from the Fiji Sevens camp. And Green Machine ready for Fiji Fat. This and more after the break.
आपको खरगंगा के रंजिला का नमस्कार। रेडियो फिजी की सुंदर सुंदर यादों का खजाना एकदम बचपन के दिन याद करा देते हैं।
हमारा नाम जोनी नायडू है, हम रहता है मलोलो में और हम टैक्सी ड्राइवर है। हम सब टाइम अपन टैक्सी में रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता प्रोग्राम।
हम सिंगाटोका के हैं, हमारा नाम है रोजी। हम लोग यहाँ पे रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता है।
राम राम, मैं रेमस प्रसाद बोलता हूँ, तब होता मैं कोई रहता हूँ। मैं जब भी सुना रेडियो फिजी 2 ही सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Well, it is hard enough for players in the Vodafone Fiji 7 squad to impress coach Ben Ryan on the field. He has made it very clear he is also keeping a close eye on things off the field as well. No nonsense, Ryan believes both aspects of a player correlate and is essential for a spot in the world #1 team. Vaishnal Prasad explains.
Keeping a close watch on the players, Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has made it clear no players is guaranteed a place in the final team, not even skipper Osea Kolinisau. They have 1 month to show their stuff.
I judge them in 2 areas, what they're doing on the field and what they do off the field. And there's a connection, an equally important connection on their attitude and their behaviour off the field. And I'll drop players because of what's happened off the field, and I've done that over the last 2 years. And I'll drop players on the field if they're not up to scratch.
A lot of players like Captain Kolinisau, Vatemo Ravovo, Savena Darawada, Apisai Domolailai and Chasa Veremalua have expectations of making it to Rio, but Ryan says performance will determine the team.
There's a number of factors. I'm not going to pick out anyone at the moment. They're all putting their hand up and working hard. It's what I expect. I think it's what everyone in Fiji expects a player in the national side, in the world champion side, to be training the house down every session, to be making everything he can do count.
Attention today was Jared Hayne as he made his first local appearance.
I think we should all look up to, really. He wants to prove people wrong. He wants to show that he can do what people don't think he can do. And I think a lot of us share that philosophy in life. And he's just getting his head down. He's working hard. He's getting through it. He's mixing with the boys well, and I can't speak highly enough of him.
So while he can relax at the moment, Coach Ryan has some tough decisions to make before naming the final team a month from now. Vaishnal Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Pio Tuai and Isake Katinimbao missed today's training session. Both the players were out for scans of injuries sustained last season. The Vodafone Flying Fijians took out time to be with students of the Blind Society in Suva today. Our gladiators from the rugby field were amazed by the humbleness of the students who made it an emotional experience for them. Rohit Deo has more.
They may not be humans that these players meet every day, but their humming did bring tears to the eyes of our rugby stars.
When we came in, we were quite emotional to see the students, and it was quite humbling for the boys to be here. We really enjoyed our time with the society, the Blind Society.
Otto adds, being a father himself, it was a heart-wrenching moment to meet youngsters with such difficulties.
I have 3 kids, and it's quite emotional to see young kids with disabilities. Apologies if that's the right word.
Venki Leone Nakarawa also could not hold back his emotions and says the game this Saturday against Samoa will be dedicated to these students.
This week's game will be dedicated to them. And some of them, I think they don't have parents, and they've been here. I think it will motivate us. It will motivate us for this week's game.
Fiji plays Samoa at 3 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Jackson Nandi football side will be out to restore its name as Vodafone Fiji FAC champions from the get-go in Lambasa on Friday. The title holders from 2013 and 2014 failed to make the knockout stage in last year's tournament, but are adamant about changing that this time around. Rohit Deo with the story.
This one can come and check the line. If he decides to go there, we will play here.
Trying to get the combinations right with just 2 days remaining to the start of the first major tournament of the year.
First of all, I would like to thank my sponsors, Jex, for coming out in to help Nandi Soccer in this first tournament. At the same time, we have got a young, very young, with a mixture of a little bit of older players, and the training is good. We are training with 1 session in the afternoon only. Majority of our players are walkers.
The Jatsaris take on cricket in their opening match, and now playing against the Northerners on their home turf won't be easy.
Compared to the last year's IDC, I think so. Cricket is a very dangerous team in the tournament. Like they made a lot of upsets last year, and we are not taking anything lightly. We are taking that game very serious, and I think that is the most important game for us in the first game.
The Nandi Driketi match kicks off at 3 p.m. on Friday at Lambasa's Subrel Park. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Rewa football side will be without national under-23 rep Garish Prasad at the Fiji FAC. The 21-year-old is said to have migrated to Australia. Prasad has been a prominent figure for the Delta Tigers in local tournaments in the past, having set up one of the goals in the final of last year's Battle of the Giants tournament in which they beat Mba 2-0. Rewa plays Mba at 5:30 p.m. on Friday. The Fiji Football Association is looking forward to its first major tournament of the year. President Rajesh Patel has reiterated that he has kept to his promise made last year by taking the tournament to the north, and adds the decision to do so already looks rewarding, with reports from the north that a huge crowd is expected over the 3 days.
All the hotels are booked, fully booked. I know, because we were trying to get some extra rooms, we couldn't get it. This is something that it's good for the economy of the north, and helps the Chamber of Commerce too, and I think so it's very positive that we spread the tournament all over Fiji.
Pool matches begin at 1 p.m. on Friday, with Suva playing Lautoka in the opening match. The Fiji men's hockey side is confident of its chances in the World League Round 1, which starts later this month. Fiji is the favorite to win the competition, but aren't taking their opponents lightly. Meanwhile, there will be some players making a return for Fiji at the tournament.
The likes of Livandata, who was a top goal scorer in the Oceania, he didn't go to the South Pacific Games. So, he even beat Australian scorers and New Zealand scorers. So, we got the luxury of having him in this team, and I think it will really show in the results. I'm most certain of that.
That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Work has begun on the new Flagstaff Plaza, which will stretch along Bow Street in front of the Morris Brothers High School to Karoo Street Corner in Suva. Finland Investments Limited, a locally owned company, is developing the modern shopping plaza. General Manager Kotel Jorge says the 2 existing football fields and the 300-meter running track will remain unaffected. He says some media reports and comments on social media that half the school's ground will be lost or impaired are false. Jorge says the land involved is being leased at a commercial rent, and the plaza buildings will revert to Mars Trust when the lease expires. It was a fine day once again, generally sunny everywhere with scattered clouds and a few brief showers about the eastern parts of the country. Looking at the temperatures today, temperatures and humidity remain comfortable as Lambasa and Ba were at 31 degrees, whereas the rest of the major centres were comfortable in the high 20s. Expect a cool night ahead. And tomorrow, again, we can expect mostly sunny weather across the country with a chance of increasing afternoon cloudiness. And our further outlook, we're looking ahead to Friday. Expect a fine day apart from a chance of early morning showers around southeast of the major islands. At sea, southeast winds up to 15 knots, moderate to rough seas. And recapping the main stories for tonight. Over 900 micro-small businesses receive government grants. Fiji ahead in the South Pacific region in reducing inequality, and a Fiji Airways plane bound for Nadi returned to Auckland Airport after facing problems retracting its landing gear after takeoff. It is now on its way back to Nadi. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. On to this week's poll question, we are asking: do you think some overseas media are biased while reporting on Fiji? I'll repeat that again. Do you think some overseas media are biased while reporting on Fiji? To answer, visit our FBC website, www.fbc.com.fj, to have your say. And we'll have the results from that poll question out on Monday. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You can also find us on YouTube, FBC TV 2011, and watch the delayed coverage of FBC News via our website at 8 p.m. tonight. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Have a safe and enjoyable evening.
Tua, ongonia saurara, although we'll take you on a TV and a market tawa. Although Talitanga na warong na Bula FM and number 2 na siya.
Pula mana Fiji, nada ko plasio matairi, ngon mai na nan bulo tabiuni, au satu ko nanti, andu Talita na warong na Bula FM. Bula!
Bula FM number 2 and seri.